Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm kind of putting it off, but I guess we should have to deal with it. There are a number of cases where, well, the one that's fairly obvious is we have this thing, which is like from any call ability, we go into these. And then there are similar cases in others, except we can usually connect them to the god's own call ability. So I did a test line on Zeus, so we'll have to see how this ends up looking. And then I still have to figure out where to put this, but Exit Wounds has a specific list of casts that it is eligible with. And I think was it you or was it somebody else I had put a couple things in kind of an awkward spot? Maybe it was you. Oh, right, because I probably was cramped between this and this, so I had some stuff in here as prospective locations for those. So we've got the specific things, and we've got the any ofs. And then you've got the revenge abilities on this one. And actually, no, this is any call. I actually forgot about that one. And then these two have any revenge. And this is actually like outside of no position. Although I actually do have a space allocation for this, so I could maybe sneak that into Aphrodite. Anyway. The challenge here is that I followed from the game data organization. Also, I don't think I need this dotted line anymore. The game data organization, which was grouped by God, had all our abilities grouped together. And it's like, well, all the connections, it's like we have God-specific layouts, all those connections are there. If we just keep everything together, then they're only going to reference each other, until they don't. We probably do want these to be secondary references anyway. Let's see. Dotted, dashed. Okay. Forgot about that. Also, this is remnants of SVG. So I don't know offhand where that's going to be an issue. I guess it's, where we're associating layout data with God data. Because I think we're going to get regular boon positions. We just can't connect them to anything. Active layout groups. Or is this a boon chart thing? Okay, it has a name, and has an icon, has an ID, and a point. I think I might have to add some additional classifier to this for like secondary references, because maybe we want to draw them a little bit smaller or something. But where are we making you? Yeah, that's the god. Layout basic boons. We've got our god data. Boons are traits.basic boons. Is that going to include these? And just anything to associate with? No, this is from the trait data. So we're going from known boons to layouts. And then asking for the placement of it. If we want to generate things that are in the layout, although I could ask for specific things. All right, we're trying to put a debug and then didn't. Get placement. Is this just a search? List.filter. Let's see. If I'm going the other way, then I have to be able to search. Well, for the cross references on things like this, I have to be able to search everything. Yeah, and I'm rerunning all of this right now. Because I recalculate things like the center and stuff every time. So maybe as an optimization thing, sometime we get the relative positions pre-associated. And then we have to go around and update update gods and distances and things. But we kind of do this backwards right now. If we want to have any kind of other reference in there, now I could put it into like a different layer, and then we would kind of scan through that and look those things up. Here's the list boon. From our perspective, a list boon is a list of placements of things. We could make that a separate thing in the in the data. So you have your basic boons, and you have this references. Where are we? So this is with in the gods group, it is just boons, which are going to be all the icons. Yeah, so it'd be a separate function. I don't think that would be a separate item at this structure level. Oh yeah, and this gives a default position to all of the known things. So I kind of need to do... kind of need to do a merge? Let's see, you're only an I. The reason you're an I... oh, you're an I, but you're getting all of the trait data. Right, because we called it traits. This is the entire thing, which includes the name and the icon. Now, if it's an out reference, because we're going to need more data here for. Then this data. Yeah, we're gonna need the out reference to everything to get those. For the slot groups, we're going to have to be iterating locations or getting the list of things that are there. The thing is, I want to know if I don't have a placement for something. So if I just go the other way, we could miss a trait. Could we? Man, what did I do today? I could just do some set math and have a warning, although it would have to be a development only warning. Because otherwise I'd have to be able to return commands from here to get the list of missing boons. Yeah, there. So you've got your list of boons. What do we have in layout? Get placement. You're just aliases, right? So you have placements. Placement is a trait ID and a point. Some of this is going to come down to the out references and other things. So if we... So there is the layout. Wait, traits.data layout. Okay, so the layout field of that god. So the thing we want to watch out for is a trait that does not have a location. No, it's going to be some sort of set det difference. And which way does that go? I don't know if there's any natural order to this. Keeps values that do not appear in the second set. So this is going to be boons. What are you? You're a list dot map to the trait thing. And then let's see, layout. We've got that. You're probably a list. And you are ID. Which hopefully I say that's not conditional. It's also not compiling. Oh, we haven't had to use set here before. Oh, I actually have to turn these into sets. All right, so expect nothing to be nothing. So this actually has to be a conditional. Set that empty, missing, then missing. What's wrong? White space sensitive compiler? Wonderful. Oh, we need like is empty. All right, so we have a way to discover if that condition exists. It's going to be a problem when we start trying to compile this. But this is really a data issue, and once that's set, that's set. All right, so now we're only going to be doing things with locations. Oh, this means this doesn't give us a fallback if we're not loading data at all. So it's almost like we have to say... So you actually have like an empty layout or something, don't you? Where do I create a dummy? I guess, let's see, so your list float. So I guess they're just empty lists. It's like I almost need this thing if for some reason I don't load the position, the layout at all. Oh, I guess I could do specifically missing on that. Because that's basically going to do this. Now this thing still has to consider... Because it's a maybe whether we find that, even if we know... Well, we just know it's not there, right? But the thing that actually looks up the layout, we're going to reverse it, right? Wait, what's that parenthesis for? That's for you. So one of these is basically going to be filling all of this stuff. I guess we know it's not going to be there. And we'll just set up a listed append for this. All right, so now we reverse this. This means getting a little friendlier with our layout. Oh, did get placement did indeed return the point. You don't need an index. Okay. Do I have a thing? A Boolean has ID, and that's like it. We don't have a built-in thing to do that. Possibly should. Although you were able to directly return a point. This is going to be the entire trait. Let's see, so that is... Oh, but this is the thing we would use. That's an all traits. That's a list gods. I feel like this may have been find boon type. That's an accumulator. Okay, so it's slightly different use cases here, I guess. And list god data again. You know what? Let me try and get some tea. Because I don't know what's going on here. Be back in a bit. There and help it cycle. So that eventually this can get up to boiling temperature and get us more water. We've already got it pretty well de-germified. Alright, so you are... I never did put one more temp shift here. Hydrogen is up to 200 degrees. 3, 2, 1.
How did I survive that?
And on Baron, it's not enough to kill you.
I want to do it again!
Reducing a lot of the recipes down to around... Oh, you're kidding me! That's just rude. Never built this close to the Aurora before.
Wow.
But going down, you're basically flying.
What the hell? That was interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of hugging the ceiling here. Ammonium factory. Okay, so that's still having issues. Man, the rover. Just bloop, 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 bloop. Actually, you know what? I thought I was able to... No, I guess I gotta have a thing that's appearing. Anyway. Oh! That counted as... Are you kidding me? That counted as... Let's see if I can make these... switch back to normal mode. Okay, I don't have a lot of control over it, but...
It's back.
No, no, wrong one. Oop, oh, cleared the cave. Woo! Got a little bit of air there.
We don't need one to.
Little way. Whoa. That was a little bit of a close call. Gotta watch those Alright. You're good? Yep. Welcome back. Alright. We have a... Well... This is list thought placements. So this is actually going to turn into a whole chain of checks. Where we know we can initially limit our search to the same god, and then we have to start pulling up data from other places. So that's from a list. And so we've already called this find God boon. Well, I guess it would be like data boon. So that's in a list. So would that be data traits? Basic boons. That's God traits. Single boons? Mapping over the god. Oh, okay, God traits. Well, yeah, God data. So it would be basic boons. Okay, this is what we're probably using the first stage. We're filtering out duos. So we shouldn't have to do that again. God traits. So initially we only have one way of doing this. Oh, I already got the list of boons. Did I expose has ID? No. I see this. Well, we definitely have a point here. We just don't have icons and things. I guess that could be ID. And this is a maybe chain, and we have to produce a value. And maybe I could have produced a dummy trait too. There's just name and icon, the only things we care about, but there are potentially a lot of other properties there that would be irrelevant. Let's say a generic default trait. I mean, we'd still, yeah, same thing. Okay. Name equals ID, icon. The problem is I need to have a dummy icon. To be able to see it at distance. And we never actually dealt with this, which, I mean, as long as we're doing this, we don't really need to deal with that. Actually. Oh. Oh no, I was thinking I was going to modify that. I didn't modify that. Oh, I wanted this in case we didn't load. And of course, now I'm not coughing. Alright, so it doesn't like missing. Set string. Oh, I turn you back into a list. No. Oh, you were just a string of... So if it's a string, then we're back to maybe finding it in the set of traits, even though we're really sure it's there. So we just filter out the other way. So this is actually going to be kind of annoyingly expensive. Yeah, so this guarantees we have a value, but it means going through the entire list. When the expected behavior 99% of the time, and in production 100% of the time, is that the list is empty. So this could actually become my check. So instead I'm not processing missing here now. Oh, no, this broke things badly. Those are only duos. So I'm not even getting... So I would expect to at least have text of the IDs. Something. Okay. Icon ID location name. Okay, that's a real name. Okay, that's some preloaded data. Effort. That's a name. So we're getting data. Oh, did I have to? We're just doing so little transformation it's not even working. When we did this, we had to apply this to everything. Which is unfortunate for this. I guess this is where I could go back to a let p. Did I actually get the recompile? What the heck? So this was our default. We definitely got something. Oh, you know what? We do have a couple in... Well, we've got a couple. Oh, I didn't actually... I just assumed all text was traits. That's all the God cross references. But why are our icon... Wait. You know what? You're at 0, 0. You're probably one of the only ones that's going to be at 0, 0. which tells me we have a scaling problem. What if can we do no layouts and see if that's still positioned correctly? Because I kind of modified that stuff. Or we go back to here. The old code. Okay, rotate by angle and then rotate guide angle, add center. So I don't think I missed anything there. Hmm. Well, this is a loading process. We're using... Actually, am I using fully pre-calculated stuff? We should still be calling that, and it shouldn't... I think that's just the layout. But still, it's not going to be got layout. Or the layout is going to be part of the trait data. So we'd actually have to do something to remove it. Wonderful. Okay. Boon chart. Traits.data layout. I don't have an easy way to get the dummy layout here, do I? Now, this was a fuzzy typed thing before. We only use placements. Ah, you need a radius as well. Oh, so we've got a scale factor going on somewhere. All right, so there's no layout. We should be back to our rings. Okay, so the missing at least works. Placements, we were only doing this stuff in the first area. So the scaling calculation seems kind of okay. Or are we getting a bunch of this? And of course, you don't have any of these references. What are we using for you? Oh, but we don't have that graphic. We don't have that in our canvas, so we can't just use a new graphic. What? Thank you. Wait. That was only for missing. Oh wait, where did scale factor go? Oh, geometry.scale point was the thing that we did instead of that. Okay. That's more like it. And we did put in a default thing here. Yeah, so those are way the heck too close. We've also got our exit points showing up. So that I'm gonna have to do something to exclude those, I guess. Now I think I did like put them in a different layer, but then I still just ended up assuming that all texts were boons. So we have a boons layer, we have a duos layer, which we should just be not even importing. Well, I may have thought that I could use them for something. We could either put the God icon there, we could put the duo icon there. When close in. I don't have any tagging for which is which right now. Well, I guess eventually we want to right. So we're going through a list. We're trying to translate everything into something on screen. Huh. Oh, right, because I'm using the lock icon. It's not actually a locked icon. It's using it as the real icon. And then we're drawing the darken over it. They're probably going to need some way to tag these as separate. So one of the things we can do, maybe, is we can look for... Did you have one of these? I don't know if you actually had one of these. No, you did. You haven't any shout. Do I have anything that's like a list of slots? I mean, view. Okay, it was kind of manual. And we have the PNGs also here. So this might be a thing that we could semi pull out. So would that go in traits? That would be... There are slot references here. Does layout include traits? No, it redefines trait ID. Traits has to include layout because it has a reference to it. Where did the gods go then? Oh, because you're all god-specific data. Laptop's going crazy again. So you don't ever have to reference the gods. I might need some sort of abstract Inu module. Because otherwise we've got a dependency problem. Of course, I'm not going to translate the any's into like a slot ID, like a actually making slot ID an enum of some sort. Because it ends up that's in the same space as trait ID. So right now I only need that in Boon chart. Where does this show up? Oh, and I can't do sets of enums. So, yeah. That doesn't actually work out so well. It's like, that'd be okay. Everything else would be okay. And we're into JavaScript. Calculate active slots. Which comes down to set.member stuff. Trait.slot. So it'd have to do a string translation when setting up slots and when checking it. If it was some sort of enum. Another way to look at this would be to have some sort of like constant graphic reference thing. Okay, well, generated. Yeah, that's going to end up being this. Well, no, because these come from data. Oh my goodness. Okay, source directory. We have lock, 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 shell. That's actually constructed. Yeah, I don't use most of these in more than one place. So it's specifically the slots here. I guess I use lock in more than one place. Okay, well, you have boon chart. This is going to be in boon chart. So this is icon for slot. And of course, this has the incompleteness problem. Of course, I was also thinking that we could get like names and things out of slots. And this is going to have to get used in Canvas to add these as loaded graphics. Oh, which means when you're back to using a slot. A list of all slots, so we can add the entire list of these. Just so we have something. I don't really know if there's any kind of other punt. I guess this could... We could just make it a dictionary. I could put any in there. Oh, I'm actually gonna need to have probably some better text for that. All right, so you're a maybe map. This is, what would it be? Because there's going to be like a with default that's going to make a new maybe. And it's the default case. So it's not and then. I guess it's just going to return with default of a new maybe. Yeah, you're going to have nothing, but we have ID in the context. This is basically a string match. Actually, starts with would be it. Of course, then we actually have to, well, I guess drop would work. We know it's 3. We want to continue maybeing this because we're going to have stages of looking at things. I need to do this twice. And we might want some better text there. We have icon for slot. Else. Lowercase string. Do I have the right thing for you? Do you have that? Okay, now we got bigger problems. Icon string, ID, trade ID, location, name. Icon ID, location, name. Maybe. Baby. Excuse me. Slot. This is supposed to be it. Huh? It expects maybe. Where are we get the double maybe from? The with default is supposed to turn it into whatever this returns. This merely happens to return another maybe. Wait, are you still complaining about slot ID? This function cannot handle the argument sent through the pipe. It's piping into a function that expects maybe. You might be trying to use this to determine that this entire pipeline is a maybe. So is this just being stupid about it? Is it an unconventional use of maybes? Parsing a record. Okay, so we have a bigger syntax hierarchy problem here, I think. Is that right? And where are you? So we have layout placements. That's a chain that ends up with the bug.log placements. Let me guess, no, I'm a lot of hot tea. Maybe not completely. Also, we note that the new code is where stuff fell down, right? Okay, so we do have a bigger syntax problem somewhere. What broke here? Does this need to be separate? I mean, it's just a comment, dude. The syntax highlighter handles it a little bit differently than the compiler. Now we're back to this problem. So it isn't, in fact, unhappy with this thing. Now, argument here is very hard to figure out. It's like, what's the argument? I believe that is a maybe coming in. And this is saying it expects a maybe. Okay, so here's what's going on. Maybe that with default either has to produce, takes a thing of A, and it either returns the thing inside or it returns a value of the same type, because we're returning a maybe from this chain. It thinks that has to be the same type as above. So basically we can't with default this. We just have to do a full-on case because there is no maybe operator for this. There is no like maybe.map error. It's pretty much with default. And this will give us the wrong result type because it's like maybe we needed an actual value. Or we just have, oh, syntax sensitive compiler again. Or white space sensitive compiler. Actually, I probably don't need this here. Okay, so now this is maybe versus just. So now we should be able to with default this. All right, and slot would be over here. All right, I think that's probably just the darkening. Was I using any for this? Oh, because this is linked. Yeah, so that's linked to there, but the line is linked to this somehow. How is the line linked to that? Maybe I had the line linked to it directly? You're not tagged. Oh, but it's part of this group. You're tagged to any shout. Now, why aren't you lighting up? I also have to do something special with these so that they aren't directly clickable. Although for the other icon references, there's no reason not to make them directly clickable. For actual trait references. You're lighting up because your group is lit. But this thing is not lighting up even though we have... This thing is apparently met its prerequisite. Although really this should be... Well, all right, we basically need to put in a fake trait. This is going into some kind of fake trait. Oh, we have all the God things stacked on here, so that's just going to be a mess for the time being. So I did that as any. Right, these things are slot based. Where do we set up the things that would actually... Well, if we had any slot in there, it would light up if it was lit up, and that might just be a really dark icon. So, or is this something where we consider that a light up condition for that? Or you're not going to be in boon status. Hmm. All right, so the chart itself. Status equals. Okay, yes, you were getting that from boon status. Is boon status part of this? No. You're probably part of this. We do have active slots. We can rephrase this, can't we? Because the chain's just gonna keep on getting longer. Although I may have to put the actual trait through here. Oh, this would not be trait.trait. Oh, I'd have to put any in there. Well, that might let this work. No. Now the hookup to this is going to be a different animal. We actually let's see. So you. So we like build this in advance. Is the dict. Active slots. List.map of all traits. Hmm. Because we have all of these. And this is where we don't have a list of them. Well, I guess you have slot ID. Okay, that's something else. Now, we actually want the any's in this case. But there's got to be a... I think they've got to be used for this, right? All right, first of all, is that name a problem? Yeah, that name is a problem. Or maybe it's... Okay, no, this is we're not... here. So this is I think I collect all the slots that are in use. Now what? Oh, I had to come up with that. The name. Oh, Trigenesis is this function. Okay, so you are just a bunch of strings. Wait, you are a trait object. Because let's trait dot trait, trait dot trait, trait dot trait. Boon meets requirements. Well, you're actually a very different condition, aren't you? Except it's not quite that. Oh, but we're returning a boon status. So this is still an if. Are you going to be available? All right, the comparable of this is there. And you will repair. All right, so the function, we have the pair, we have the closure. Now, slot is actually not correct here. Nor do we actually have the slot list yet. Although I guess this could be like slot trade IDs or something. Yep, icon for slot. Mm. Okay, however, because these things are that the same. Now this is going through Canvas, so I guess there's a possibility that it's not the... It's just not the same color. Maybe that's the same color, it just doesn't... We have different contrast without the frame. But if we start getting into frame, then we've got a little bit of a different animal here. Now, marking things as active is kind of a... Okay. Right, because you were unavailable. You were available. Oh. Okay, so that's because I was clicking that. I mean, shout is available. That's not untrue. This thing still isn't lighting up, though. So this has to be something in our connection tracking. Okay. So there's nothing, well, there's nothing published here. Where do we determine if you're on? Display boon connector. So we have active groups. Active groups. Are they? Because that's model.boon status. That's boon status. That's boon status. That's active group. Let's stop map 2. Oh, connectors. Ah, basic connectors. No, that's not right. Active. Active basic groups is a set group ID, which comes from boon chart. Model at active basic groups. Calculate actives. This is a traits thing. Active layout groups, which you don't even have slot information. I think the assumption was always we kind of throw it into active traits. And it wouldn't, but we also had, let's see, we also had to add that to the list of things in there. For this, I guess we could just throw it in there. Active traits, active traits. Oh, and there's active slots. This is going to be another add remove thing, I think. So we've already defined active traits, and you use active traits to calculate active slots. So how about, can we set dot map? I don't think the duos use this directly, although I'd have to check on, I guess Smoldering Air could use the slot thing. Required, okay, so actually, we don't do any, we don't currently do anything to mark you. It's just that's working in the background. There's no group for that. Eh. We forgot an argument. Okay, so actually you're already available. I guess you should actually be in active state. All right, well, I want to take a break. I just have to take a more detailed look at what's going into there and then how this thing is processing it. Because oddly enough, this is working. Be back in a bit. Hello, Bashful. Thank you for following. I'm glad you're enjoying my playthrough where I'm winning far more than I expected to somehow. I guess the way things are going, our next step is going to be to put on all the Titan stars and see if I can get the achievement for that. And, you know, because uh-oh, the compass is gone.
Placing
So-
tethers on my side is really boogie.
Oh, do they still have the multiplayer? Well, you placed one, so it's not completely
But
broken.
it's like shaking, like when I place it. It's going all over the screen.
Oh, okay.
It's flying up in the air and going underground.
Yeah, I've had some fidgetiness with unknowns, but and issues. And there were at one point issues placing tethers on other planets.
Wow.
But going down, you're basically flying.
What the hell? That was interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of hugging the ceiling here. Different Steam name, but just somebody came in and said hi, and he said he had the game, so I'm like, hey, I haven't played much multiplayer, let's check it out. And I figured, probably better if he hosted the game, since I'm also streaming. So I saved that world, Lost in the Cave, so it'll be fun getting out. Yep, okay. Now, I didn't log out here yet. There was something else playing last time I was close to it.
O Lord God, helper of those who seek you, I see you in the garden of paradise, and I do not know what I see, because I see nothing.
All right. Well, out here, it's only going to be. Wait, I got a pie. Really, I did.
Boom.
Ah! I grabbed a new pie. I must have accidentally put it down somewhere. And I die in the wilderness again. And more logic gates. Clay Entertainment. Hi! You know, I saw the art stream going on and not enough of my thing. 3, 2, 1.
How did I
And
survive that?
and on Baron, it's not enough to kill you. Welcome back. So are we actually getting anything here? And I've still got a debug log somewhere else. Okay. So that technically exists. Is that traits? No. Okay, so this is what we're passing down to there. Okay, so that should be any shout. Ow? Was I already putting slot in here? Oh, is that what set map does? Oh, because I... Okay, well that was a pretty major error. Doesn't explain this though. You should be a basic connector. With your link available. Oh, this is a layout thing. If set.member ID active traits. Wait, where's active? Layout.connections. Layout.connections, layout.connections. Like I said, we're doing this twice to get consequent connections. It's pretty much the same. Wait, what's active here? Oh, and this is the accumulator. How you fail? Let's see, the ID here is link. Oh, so these are the links that are from traits. Which is more or less what we're calling this. Hmm? But it's the same... Yeah, we're using the same active. Okay, so that's looking at active traits, not at active, which is probably kind of a simplification. It's like, okay, level 1 has to be from a trait. And then we're going through again to get anything that was connected to a connection. But that should be maintained in the accumulator. Oh, we probably had a group called Shout in one of these. I don't know who I'm dealing with here. Well, that's a group called Call. So that's... Oh, and actually, no. Bolting. Yeah, Call, not Cast. Because we picked Zeus, so that's all triggered off by you. So do I... Are you like your own little group or something? You're in the Call group. We did kind of reuse color here, so... Nope, that changed color. It appears to be in the right group. This is linked to Zeus Shout trait. Okay, so there's those. We have these in. What the heck? Because I'm using generated data. That was actually... Is that a data change? Maybe. I did have an unsaved Zeus here. I didn't think it was anything important. Maybe I just forgot to save before I built last time. Nope, that's not it. It's a lot of Aphrodite stuff. Oh, because those gods haven't loaded yet, but we're still processing everything. Well, that's not a very useful warning then, is it? Yes, I got all that re-rendering stuff. So there doesn't appear to be any difference in data here. Okay, Right, because this is linked to a particular thing. And we're actually, this is actually a display issue. All right, is this in layout? Because when it's this particular link, we only wanted to do, say, if we have these, we didn't want to show these lines here. Because we're using the same link thing here, it's not recognizing that. Where do we do? I guess it's the Boons connector thing. Boon status. Case link, ID. Boon Didn't I update Boon status? Well, Boon status is a big ugly thing, but... Any shout just available. It has to be just active, and... Okay, so this is in fact still available. Or this might be down here. All right, can we... get just this one? Just available. Why are you not among the active slots? Is this an order of operations issue? Well, no, we calculate the active slots here because we used it here. So that has to process before this. Oh. But we used the ID there. Active slots is still going to be just plain old slot. Let's see, I don't think I've tagged data on anybody else. And I think that also fixes our contrast problem a little bit. But this was originally supposed to be kind of a background icon. So it doesn't really show up very well. I could perhaps use something else for active traits. Maybe put like a common frame around them or something, so you'd have at least that version. Which is still only going to help so much. Okay, so that was a test for you. Also shows up here. Wait. Oh, you have a double prerequisite. Oop. You have to have the shout and something else. Oh, other thing. I might actually need to do a display name on this. Because it's like shout internally, but they usually use call in game. Do I even have that hooked up to yours? Well, it's actually locked out here. No, I didn't even draw that line. So, like, Zeus, we drew the line. On this one, we didn't. Well, yeah, because it's a double prerequisite, so I guess we need to represent that. Although, yeah, this qualifies because it's one of her abilities. This is probably just a line issue, really. Wait. Oh, because I clicked on this. So, I'm going to have some kind of tag for these. That they're not click targets. No, you're SVG. This is just an attack, right? Although, actually, I don't think for these slot things, it's like maybe cast and shout is really all you get. And now our boon has to have a new flag for is selectable or something. I might want to actually make this an enum because we're going to have these references, and I think even though I might make them selectable, it's just way too crowded right now. I guess I kind of knew it'd be a little bit crowded. I just need to get stuff in there and look at it. So you define this boon thing, right? Yes. Now I've got a boon type that's basic or duo. So I have to worry about if that's a conflict. Unfortunately, this is kind of like standard. You're not an alias. Oh. I need to check. Yeah, that's going to be a collision. And all the places that we do this. Nope. And your, I guess this is, we're assuming this is a slot. It's other. All right, well now what do we got? Still in boon chart. Oh, okay. And then for drawing, actually the first thing that gets affected from this is hit. And it's actually going to be not equal to slot, but radius is actually going to be adjusted when we come down to our other types. Okay. We can still do that. We can still do this. But we can't have any funny business here, and, well, yes, these are showing up as bogus slots right now because we don't have the cross references. Yeah, we modified some stuff here, just flipping bits. So we have to go through the data and add those at some point for all of the other things that matter. I guess it's really calls. There might be some other required slotted. Or some casts. So that leaves us, that takes care of any. It might only be Artemis. So we have to do layout updates. Any slot reference. So we can't click on it. It could kind of use some better display. It's just dark right now. But I can't really do anything. Well, maybe if I did like a sub canvas, I'd have to figure out how to use this with this library. If I add frames, I have to add frame references to the canvas. Also, I think I forgot to add this to the list of textures. Maybe it was able to get it out of the image. So it's technically just any image of that path on the page. Maybe we should be official about that. All right, so we got lock icon. Now this is going to end up kind of weird. So you've got the list of slots. Boon chart has the list of graphics. Actually, do you already have... You've got God icon, you've got these things. So you already have some graphic references. This boon chart has to use traits, right? Yeah. I think put that somewhere down here. Takes care of you. And in canvas, list.append. Traits.slots. Traits. Okay, so it's officially loaded now. Maybe it's getting texture events from anything that loads? Huh. I wonder if I'm doing the exclusion checks within this space. Since there's no way to get to it. Man, those are still a little bit darker. But then this one just seems to be completely layered under. Huh. Alright, so we've still got the God references to deal with. I just don't want to necessarily... I'm not sure I want to throw out the points, per se. Well, I guess it'd be easy to get them back later. Arguably, this should actually be... Maybe move this down here or something. But in that case, but would I actually want to have references to those icons? Do I only want to display that when the big one's off screen? So that's an area for further development. All right, anyway. If we fail to look up there, we want to look up... This was boon chart. Which means you need even more data. Okay, so this is everything. You're Jason, isn't your center. They're exactly the same arguments. These are mostly going to be prerequisites, so right now I don't need actually all traits. That might include duos. All boons? Basic boons? This is probably of a particular god. I need something that returns a list trait. God data. Slot ID. Boons of God. Single boons. Oh, you were internal. Is this something we've never had to do before? Well, we've got god traits and we've got all gods, probably. Okay. All gods. That does include duos. Have we never needed this? There's all gods. Oh, maybe it's like, basic boons of a god data? So I guess that's the thing we could potentially pre-calculate. All right, so we've got... We attempt to look it up in our data, for which we had a handy convenience function. List god data. Oh, you're probably not exposed, though. Yeah, that's been an internal function so far. And did we take you back to just the overall list? Right, because you were used in a god accumulator, which is why you had a list, right? Okay. What are you part of? All traits isn't exposed either. There's God traits. What the heck are you part of? There's Data Boon. So we've got this thing where we say, well, if you didn't find it there, actually this process is a maybe. Oh, you're a different kind of thing. You put us back to this, more or less. Why is that one? Why is that one? Maybe I misspelled maybe I misspelled Poseidon. That's why. So I was setting this up real quick. Yep. EI. Okay, so the hit detection is not great because we don't normally have these things overlapping like this. And I might want to mark these as some other kind of reference for which we made some allowance. There's probably going to be a switch somewhere we have to deal with. I think I want to end up drawing these smaller. How much smaller is to be determined. But that'll actually help with the hit detection a bit by itself. Okay, so this is an absolute mess. It's only slightly better there. And I haven't done lines on these yet. I just needed to work out the technique for doing it. Let's see, I think I had a big space allocation for you, which isn't that bad. And we've got this line coming through here. Which isn't going to be... It isn't going to be super convenient to take any other way, but it could loop out more. So keep... all right. All right, I need to work on the display size issue. That's what we're doing right now. We're doing code. Okay, so display diameter comes in from the outside. We have color, brightness. That was only used there, so this is all in constant right now. So we need like a relative size factor. We got a size. Display diameter, the basic boon size. I also want to pull these out as a separate class of things. That's going to kind of take over... Is that a name collision? No. Font, text. This is a sub function helper. Boondock. That's probably just the first one it hits. Hey, boon chart exposing all. Oh, but boon chart never exposed this. Okay, that's a little smaller. That's a little smaller. We could try half, see what it looks like. Might not look good. Yeah, that's still need contrast on that. That's. I guess since these are like out of outside references, it's probably okay to have them be kind of tiny, and you just zoom in and say, "What the heck is that?" If you can't, if you can kind of tell from the colors. Maybe I need to do my own touch-ups on that to get a higher contrast version of it. Oh, that makes you smaller. Maybe that one stays full size. I guess the size difference might help it stand out as it's not quite a standard thing. So you might be the only case where we have direct references. I guess like the maybe things like the revenge abilities only trigger off of a duo, so that's going to be an extra special case. So behavior-wise, that's kind of okay. Oh, and you've got that issue. This could be where we put frames in. So I don't think this modifies very well. Okay, so you're straight up scale. You actually sort of modify, okay. Except this starts going outside your ring. And we start losing our tangent to that, but I don't know if that's a solvable. Well, I could exit it from this line in a different spot. We still wouldn't be able to maintain tangent with a circular arc. Such a confusion. All right, you. So that is cast. That's any cast. So we could actually kind of go into that same thing. This is already tagged as Artemis. I guess I don't really have a good... I don't have a good line to distribute these on. I'm not entirely sure how I would define a good line to distribute those on. Maybe it's a ring around this. Right, I had this locked. Kinda? I don't have anything to define even spacing with. All right, Athena, ranged trait. Oh, I haven't really thought about the layout of these. If there's anything useful we could do... Yeah, so Athena's technically over there, but this thing is over here. I really don't want to go stretching across. Zeus is over there. Aphrodite. By strange fortunes, it is exactly the adjacency in the way I set this out. Still, that is going to be here and here, which would make for some really convoluted lines if I... Well, I'd actually be trying to do a cross graph line from goodness only knows where. Boop. Boop. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. That's why we're doing references. Well, let's see. Athena's over there. Poseidon is way over there. Zeus is right here. Aphrodite. These are actually in about the right order. Not notes. It is boons. Yeah, and these are all gonna... Oops, misspelled that one. Aphrodite. Oh no, it's the link. Oh, no, it's you. Afro. And you'd be seeing the exclusion with that one. Oh, because these are all Which cast do you have? That's all the Artemis stuff. Which apparently just reordered some random things. No, that control backspace doesn't do anything. I guess what I have been forgetting about is the whole revenge thing. Well, other prereqs of duo boons, which I think is mainly going to be call and cast. No, I don't think anything operates on any cast, but I might just have to go through all the duos and look at them. So I guess we might as well just try and wrap this up. So that was pure layout stuff. So we've got generated, which just let me look up by names. What I care about duo boons. What I care about is required slotted trait. So this is Hermes. This is pretty much working as intended. Oh, we need there's the display visual contrast side of this. Hermes. That's something else. Hermes, wait. Right. So what we actually want is required slotted trait equals just. Otherwise we're going to get ourselves confused. So we've got two Hermes. We've got a Poseidon, which I had tempt in. Oh no, I had attempted to do that, doing that with an existing line. Yeah, it's a little close. Nope, don't want to do that. Can I retrim that? Limiting entity. No. Maybe not. Limiting entity, entity to trim. There we go. Oh, and did I leave this in... Yeah, I left it in direct load mode. All right, so this works for both of them. Anybody else works for that. Athena. So this is Proud Bearing. So I had done that, but it's on a collision course. I think I had done that a while ago and maybe not kept up with it. Wait, Athena 3. Yeah, I was just trying to use an existing line. There's probably a midpoint. Is this? That is its own segment. Okay, so I thought it was... center, not midpoint. Okay. And then we go back to... I've forgotten the code for it. RM. Limiting entity? Limited entity? No. Oop. Didn't let me redo it. All right, unselect that so we can see it properly. Okay, apparently I can't limit to this. So we limit to that. Okay, you're a little bit in the way. Ooh, and that's a little bit close. So I need to push you out a little bit. So I want you along a line. In order to limit to that, I have to have current auto. All right, limiting entity, limited entity. Kinda okay. Right, Artemis. Oh no, Artemis. So this is Hunter, which we definitely saw there and seemed to be doing okay. We've got Zeus, which was one we were initially looking at. So there's the Zeus Aphrodite. Yeah, okay. So there is, and then we're back to Hermes. Okay. So revenge is not a slotted trait. This is a duo, and I don't know what the order is. Duo boon. Apparently it's never Zeus. And that is set from list. There is no special thing from this. So these are, yeah. These are already covered. And this is the stuff we'd have to look for anything with retaliate. It's the trait itself. That's some layout information. Impending doom. Of course, it doesn't tell me like if I'm missing one per se. I think that's all of them though. So that's an outstanding issue, and the only required slotted we had was that. So the only question is anything besides exit wounds doing a cross-god reference? Okay, so we've still got... So if I excluded the... well, these are all in regimented positions. Looks like I can kind of pick out. If there's any other... Well, the question is how I put them on there. Anything else that has a cross-ref like that? I can't really think of anything. Okay, required slotted. We have that. I think this is the only one for you. So this arguably gets into the whole issue of how we do all the states of boons. Because like it kind of stinks that everything's dark. But I need to be able to distinguish unavailable from available from active. And we want that to be perceivable at some kind of distance. Yeah, this thing doesn't show up at all. Could we do boon frames? Yeah, so I did a whole like frame infrastructure here that was all built up around LMUI stuff. Did you bring in... You didn't bulk import boon chart. So we could... Oh, so... no, that's not Trey. So there's meta, there's keepsake. What was Trey? Oh, it's this thing. So that's for an empty slot. Oh, and we still have the God reference points, which I guess in the interim I need to remove. Is that a layout update? Placement, decoder placement, text entity. We're not doing any filtering on you. I know I've done some layer filtering elsewhere. Remove guidelines. Okay, so this is a post-processing on that entire step. That would be a post-processing on this. You see, this is going to be boons. We don't want to remove duo... Well, these don't have duo boons. You are... So actually, I guess it's your succeed. Wait. Okay, connections was a sub-function, which is also a succeed. But you're list concatenating a lit. This is... You're doing entities. I guess it would end up being a map on this entire entities. but it is a placement. Oh, we don't keep group information right now. We don't do any filtering of this besides the type. So if it comes along, we take it, and then we do. Now our placements have to have groups. So I guess I could have used to do like references and slots and stuff. And once I have that worked out, I can. Oh. Well, this is a layout thing, not a. Yeah, placement ID point. And then I don't really use that elsewhere, so this would just be a decode thing. Is that all I use for group? I had a group ID. Which is your main trait, actually. So that'll break all the things. So placement, where do we get group from? Huh. You actually did do some kind of filtering. But you're only taking the first. Oh, we took all entities, we have candidates, and then we just filtered the list. Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing with these. But where did I get my group ID? Right, because it's not a named thing. It's just a field. Okay, connection in layer. Okay, so that's actually compilable. Now we can do this is duos or duo. Duos is what I did in that one at least. So that has to go entities. Moves around every time. Okay, so remove. Ah, this is on the internal value, so we have to do a map. And then maybe we have to come along and tag that somehow, because we might be able to use that point for something. Of course, I think I kind of already have these points on the duo boon side of things. I'm not sure as easy as it is to get to which god they're associated with. But that is going to affect my generated data. Oh, which is going to import my layout and code elm data. Even though we don't care about it past this stage. We did record layout data. Well, I could have two types in the decode stage and then map it out. Because this is going to get converted to code and included in our static data. So it's just like, not that it's a small file to begin with, but that is superfluous to all of our downstream purposes. Maybe you could decode a list of maybes. That would have to be some kind of and then construct. Which can actually make you a maybe placement. So we would do and so at this point we could have like basically the placement decoder there. filter map. Okay, so we didn't apply you. Right. You need to be a just placement. And you need to be a decoder. Oh, actually, this doesn't work. All right, does this have the intended effect? Seems to have the intended effect. Okay, so now we can take this out. Which at this point, we kind of should probably just do this as placements. All right, let's see. For connections, we had succeed with the map. This, we're actually doing this as a maybe internally. This actually ended up being really simple. Is it just? And that's how we run it, I think. But you are... maybe placements? Or maybe placement. All right, which one don't you like? Ah, yes. We did another parenthesis there. Decoder group ID placement. Ah, that goes back to our layout module, which no longer has to have this type in here just for us. Is that piping in the wrong place? Decoder list placement. Actually, that... Well, we probably had those dummy data just in there before. This actually removes it from the import. Do I have a note for this? No. All right, frames. What frames we going to use? I mean, he could potentially be marking legendaries and things, but if I'm using frames for active, then I wouldn't necessarily be using that just to mark the legendaries in the graph. This could turn into a positioning and alignment rabbit hole. It's like loading, it's not going to be too bad. Display boon trait. Okay, we took size through everything. Is this must be text line. Then there's the covering thing. And there's the lock. Oh, and we're going to do this as a conditional, but we'll see. And sizing could also be a trial. Okay. That actually kind of works out. And if we wanted to be official about it, yeah, so that gives it a little bit of color. I was thinking that maybe these should have this frame, but we're trying to get them contrast, and that's already a very dull frame. I mean, I guess maybe you could do like a simple frame like this for like available. You should just be appending a list here soon. And that's excluded status. So this actually starts to get interesting here. I guess this is maybe long enough. We should be new lining it. And we only have unavailable, I think. As our other case. Ooh? What are you? It's like you're not that. Oh, no, this is a size issue. I thought that was the effects of the, because the god I happened to be looking at had a very similar color tone. Oh, actually, for these things, that probably is about right. What? I mean, I guess the whole thing is a little bit bigger. But this is kind of a clear indication it was never meant to be used for this. We're having to futz with it. Oh, and I started to debug log somewhere too. Yeah, you know what? These are always going to be available. I guess that makes the dark spots show up better. So it actually gets a little bit smaller the way that worked out. Well, I guess you're technically missing a little bit too. So this already needs to be a little bit, just a tad bigger. Maybe I just need a better. Yeah, that's not a very. It's not a very big difference. Probably need to do something with that. It's a dark, 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 dark. So doop, 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 doop. I'm almost wondering if I work the darkness effect into the sort of status hierarchy here. What do we do? We picked a color, yeah, bright, dark, bright, dark, dark. What, your boon connector? Yeah, okay, status color. And we have 3 variations there. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is like a basic frame. What's this graphic? No, this is the common frame, and then you get it's rare and it's something rare and epic are the tabs. I kind of want to do available at full color. Although I guess the frames don't stand out great at distance. They look good up front or up close. Oh, part of our scaling problem is that that version is organized as display within a certain size. But these frames are designed to layer over these. So this is actually covering up quite a bit here. I know why I originally did the 0.9. In a sense, all the frames need to get zoomed up. That's more around the edge. It's kind of hard to say. How it compares to the proper size. I mean, like you can see down here, you can see a little bit of color there. So that's a much better fit. So that there is just making it a bit bigger already. Ooh, that's adding some size to those things. Which could probably use to start shrinking a little sooner. All right, well, this says that frames actually, we would expect to get blown up like that. Okay, and that makes that frame a little bit bigger. Hmm. Well, it's certainly going to be helpful for this thing. Okay, yeah, that counts. This is slot. I think the things that care, like this, are properly excluded. Yeah, so these open up those. Yeah, so you don't get as much of the benefit of like a frame showing up on here to help highlight it. Well, it's an experiment. These things could still kind of use some contrast. Okay, so this was in here. I am using both of these, so I actually have to... we're looking at frames, not at these. I need to copy both for the sidebar and for that. At which point... There's all those. Oh, that's a passive. There's Trey Highlight. And that's the gods. Maybe those should actually go in this folder? If I'm using them like boon icons? Raises another interesting question. No, because if I was hand defining these, because these can show up in multiple places. The other ones we defined for, oh, well, there's a problem right there. You actually need to deal. We actually need to deal with the keepsake notes. Visual contrast. So keepsake frame in chart. So I'm gonna have to duplicate like a little bit of this stuff. Or just say, well, that's a thing. Don't worry about. That would change the layering too. Maybe we just don't show it for those. Let's see, duo availability. You are specifically on one of these. Have to see how that works out as we accumulate primary abilities here. I want them to give us a whole lot of options. Okay, well, I guess that's it for now. That's what I'm usually on. This would also be a, well, scheduled Monday morning thing. And then whenever else I feel like to deal with it, I guess we just kind of got some graphics issues right now, so that's going to be kind of lightweight. Easy to work on. But thanks to subscribers for the support. Voluntary and otherwise. I will be back this afternoon to do some 101 Life. And goodbye.